Hello, good morning. Thank you everyone for being here. I'm delighted to be again in Bangkok, a bit jet lagged. Thank you very much for the amazing BGA team for organizing this event and for getting us together. I'm Gabriela Chang, CSO and co-founder of EthicHub. As they said, we're a connector. We are rethinking the supply chain. My team and I are pioneers using blockchain to solve real-world problems. Because blockchain initial promise was to enable a financial system where no one was left excluded. But sadly, currently, a quarter of the world population remains excluded, and this has very bad consequences. It generates big inequalities, not just in people, but also in the environment. For many people, they relate poverty in general with uneducated folks, people not skilled enough as to access decently paid jobs. But harsh reality is that most of the unbanked are skilled micro-farmers that together are producing 1/3 of the world's food. But they are trapped in an inefficient supply chain. So this drives severe social, economic, and environmental consequences. Migration, poverty, deforestation, just to name a few. It is a huge problem. Is the one before, please? It is a huge problem, but also a huge opportunity, because the total combined need of this market is 450 billion annually. Do you like good coffee? Cool. You have some samples there. That is proof of work from this farmer. Well, coffee is king of agroforestry, and is one of the most traded commodities. And guess what? 80% of the global production of coffee comes from poor people with only 2 hectares of land. They are so tiny that most microfinance won't lend them money because they cannot pay back every week or every month, because coffee is an annual crop. So the only money they can find is the small microloans from shark loans, and they are often conditioned to be paid back with coffee. So they lose twice. First, because the money is so scarce and so expensive, this is around 100% interest. And second, because price is always low. That's why EthicHub designed, a sustainable supply chain, rethink to disintermediate in a shared value model where smallholder farmers are no longer the weakest link and nature is not exploited. So I want you to put face and eyes to one of these 25 million producers. She's Odalia, she's 42, has 3 kids, she produces 2 tons of coffee in 2 hectares of lands. She lives in the mountains, evidently. She lives very far away from paved roads. She has no bank account, no telephone, no health insurance. But she's member of a small cooperative that struggles to get affordable finance and markets. It is through these cooperatives that farmers like Odalia relate to EthicHub. Okay, so as I said before, this is a huge market opportunity. So evidently, there are many fintechs trying to tackle the unbanked. But the approach is mainly based on data for credit scoring or assets for collateral. But millions of small farmers don't have data because they don't have connectivity, and their assets has no commercial value. Nobody wants 2 hectares in the middle of nowhere. So for them, EthicHub designed what we call crowd collateral to back the loans, so more investors are willing to invest in them, because they don't know most long-term farmers are very good payers. Actually, default rate is less than 4%, but they confuse it, they mix it with default in microfinance for consume, which is around 36%. So that's why EthicHub only focuses on productive loans, so they are very easily paid back. The best of all is that it works. This is not charity. This is impact investing made positive for everyone. Any one of you can support these communities. So our integrated business model combines finance and access to markets. So in this regard, when coffee is paid, the loans are paid back also. What's our business model? We take a fee for every loan and a margin on the commercial transaction. So I will briefly explain how it works. Using smart contracts, the lenders provide the funding to the cooperatives. We are non-custodians. So when the cooperative pays back, they use the same smart contracts. Only in case of default, the crowd collateral kicks in to compensate the lenders. So the collateral is provided by the cooperatives to align interests, to have skin in the game. This is the cooperatives and their auditors. And then all the stakers that are willing to take the risk of default in exchange of a deal. We can say like yield farmers backing actual farmers. So I invite you to better understand this, to visit our webpage, ethichub.com, so you will learn how it works. We're very proud that with this crowd collateral that we designed, 100% of the lenders have recuperated the principal plus the interest. So there are two mainly options. You can choose to lend, and why blockchain here? Because small international transference are very cheap and very easy to follow, transparent, reliable, and anyone can participate. You can choose if you choose the amount of money you want to lend and the maturity, how many months, 3, 6, 12, or 24 months. And in the other one, you choose what cooperative do you want to support with your collateral. Here, you buy our token, in the lending, it's a stable coin. It's just a means of international transference. But in the case of the collateral, you use our utility token. You buy your token and stake it on behalf of the cooperative you want to support. You get a deal for this, and when the loan is over and paid back, you can retrieve your collateral. So we are very proud of our numbers. We've been working very hard, researching and learning. We are now active in 7 countries. This is not updated, with 16 cooperatives. We are reaching over 10,000 farmers, and we have improved 15% their price. We have sold 300 tons of coffee to over 40 specialty roasters. The coffee you have there is one of the finest coffees in the world. And 2,000 users have lent almost $5 million to these cooperatives with a default rate of less than 4%. This is working. And next one, please. We have a team with all the required experience on business, technology, and agriculture to do so. Jori was the CEO of a company with over 800 employees. Diego has 3 masters in artificial intelligence, complex systems, and DNA computing. As I say, was working at the Secretary of Economic Development, and we are very proud to count on the institutional partnership of the Inter-American Bank for Development and Heifer International, which is the biggest NGO working on agriculture to alleviate poverty. We're also very proud to count on BGA as partners. And we are one of the most awarded and recognized projects in the refi space, focused precisely on the SDGs. And I would like to close with a quote from Fuller. You don't fight an existing system. You build a new one that turns this obsolete. We are not fighters. We are not warriors. We are builders. And we want to invite you to build together with us the new economic system where no one is left excluded. Thank you very much.